Plain Truth, the story of how the museum's Boeing 727-100 reached its final destination. United Airlines gave the jet to the museum in September 1992, when First Officer Ray Waddell flew the plane from O'Hare Airport to Meigs Field.
It was the last commercial flight for this particular aircraft that's going into the museum.
What I'd like to do today is make the official transfer to JACCON in the museum.
Delivery Day, September 28, 1992, kicked off a chain of events. By then, United, Boeing, and Pratt & Whitney together had committed to give more than $2 million to help make new interactive experiences in aviation a reality.
Now we have an opportunity to fulfill a dream. Even though the 727 has seen lots of miles and lots of air miles particularly, it represents today's technology and today's commercial aviation industry. We have nothing like that here in the museum. We think it will be a significant statement of what's going on in aviation, and hopefully people young and old will get a chance to understand what makes a plane fly and why it stays in the sky.
Holly Marine was in charge of ferrying the jet. It towed the plane from Chicago's lakefront to Burns International Harbor in Indiana for storage for a year.
Taft is going to have their moving equipment in over on this side of the lot. United's going to have their equipment in over on this side of the lot. And then Pepper is
Meanwhile, museum staff joined forces with construction companies, City and Chicago Park District departments, corporations, government agencies, organizations, and individuals. Together, they decided how best to gut, move, dismantle, clean, install, and exhibit the 41-ton jet.
I mean, that's almost perfect. These are the 5 rows where we want the passengers. Oh, I'm sorry.
In August 1993, United prepared the plane for its move to the museum.
Once the aircraft has been put back together again and is hung on the balcony inside the museum, then we'll have already stripped all the paint off the exterior of the aircraft. And we'll go back in and paint it in its original delivery colors, exactly the way the aircraft looked in 1964 when it was brought in.
Lakes and Rivers Transfer had the challenging task of loading the jet onto the barge at Burns Harbor for its return trip. While back in Chicago, Taft Contracting built the ramp needed to transfer the plane from barge to shore. Great Lakes Dredge and Dock created a temporary 3-foot trench to allow the 12-foot barge to bring the jet directly to the shoreline ramp.
Maybe push sand out, maybe a 3-foot notch down. Just keep moving back and forth.
On moving day, September 22nd, 1993, at 5:45 a.m., strong winds forced managers to put everyone on standby.
Seas too rough yet?
I don't even know if it's Italian deck yet. The tugboat driver is taking the boat out, and he's going to see if it's safe enough.
The decision to defer to weather conditions exemplified the care and caution given to each facet of the jet's move. Dredging continued as the early morning sun broke through the moving day clouds. The sun disappeared, but wind speed decreased, and the go-ahead was given. Work continued, and 2,000 people began to gather in anticipation of the arrival of the 727. Many people who came to see the airplane were present when the U-505 submarine crossed Lakeshore Drive in 1954. Bill Pinckney was one of them.
Well, it was very exciting because I kind of played hooky from school that day and came over to watch this great thing of this submarine, which at that time was super high-tech, coming across Lakeshore Drive.
For other onlookers, it was also a big day.
Wow! Wow! We knew that a lot of kids knew about the plane coming over on the barge, and we thought it would be neat for them to see.
We figured real life is one of our best teachers, and so we thought we'd come out and take a look.
It's taking a lot longer than we thought it would. We could have got an earlier start. The barge, I think, with some of the weather last night, there was a little delay with the waves and the wind washing it in. about, you know, the sand and the crib that we built, if that was going to be sturdy enough, but the plane handled it well, and we had enough plates so that it was a level and pretty firm foundation. Everybody did a great job. Really good. I'm very happy.
The next crucial step was getting it into the museum. But first, it had to be carefully taken apart. Meanwhile, concrete specialists prepared to temporarily remove one of the building's ionic columns. Architect Will Taubert explains why.
The controlling dimension for the aircraft is the fuselage and the engine mounting pylons, which are 15 feet. So we have to have at least 15 feet plus in the building to get the aircraft, fuselage, and other pieces of the aircraft inside the building.
CTL evaluation engineer Malcolm Lim notes the precise work required for the successful removal of the column.
We're basically right now trying to get an idea of what's inside the column. And this shoots out electromagnetic signals that we pick up and we can see on the screen right there.
The final step in actually getting the plane into the museum came on November 18, 1993. Bolt by bolt, it had been reduced to its fuselage, wings, and tail, and moved inside on a custom-built ramp.
Okay, next one.
To prepare the plane for operating in the museum, Purdue University Aviation Technology faculty and students created an air-driven system to replace the original hydraulics. Assistant Professor Mark Tom.
We're taking all of the existing hardware out of the things that makes the airplane move, that makes it roll and go up and down. We'll have a system that can show each function as it's happening on the aircraft. When an airplane turns, we can show how an airplane turns. When it climbs and the nose goes up and down, we can show how that happens, which surface affects every movement of the airplane.
Painting the airplane presented another major challenge. Leading Edge Aviation Services President Michael Mann Clark.
Well, obviously we're working in some extreme environment here. It's inside of a building, which is not normal at all, and you can see the plastic is draped all over. That's a lot more difficult, definitely.
Next, the overnight move across the museum's rotunda. This was the easiest move of all because once the fuselage was cradled in place, it only had to be rolled across the floor. By mid-May 1994, workers had completed the structural work required to anchor the plane to the balcony. Mike Manley of United says the plane's installation was a team effort all the way.
United, Northwest Steel, and TAP Construction, all three of us. It took all three groups to get the steel in, get it shimmed properly. It's been a team effort with everybody here. It hasn't been, one company or one individual. Everybody's really worked together and made this whole thing happen.
Get your legs ready.
Just think it's really probably one of the neatest things any of us has ever done, and it's, as you can see, when that thing's up in the air, it's going to be something to see. There won't be anything like it anywhere else in the world.
Go ahead. Take this rare opportunity to get on a jet, explore its systems, and understand its operation. This is a hands-on chance to expand your knowledge of aviation. Come, take flight.